This is a point where we have Rachel Rohrbacher and Anna Bright serving to Jorja Johnson and Tyra Black down on the bottom down there. Rachel Rohrbacher is going to start this point by serving the ball. It's a moderate serve. It's not anything super crazy, hard or deep or anything like that, but it's not a bad serve either. It's a pretty decent serve. And Tyra Black is going to take this opportunity and return the ball back relatively deep and establish herself up at the kitchen like that, no problem at all. She's really setting herself up well in this point by hitting a deep return like that. She hit the return pretty much to the middle of the court, so Rachel Rohrbacher is going to step over with her forehand, and on her back foot, she's actually leaning backwards a little bit because of the really nice return that Tyra hit. She's going to hit a loopy drop shot to this part of the court right here. Because she left it just a tad bit high, it wasn't like super high, but it was a tad bit high, Anna Bright is going to start moving in because she thought the drop was good. It wasn't as good as she thought. And because the ball was a tad bit high, Tyra is going to step in and poke the ball with her backhand, hitting a nice little flick to this part of the court back here. I like what she did here because she actually hit the ball back to the deeper player in the court, which is a great idea because it doesn't allow the person who's trying to come in off of a drop do anything aggressive like move over for a poach or anything like that. She's just playing percentage pickleball and is going to keep the player who's back there. It's a good offensive pressure strategy. Hey, real quick, before we get back to the video, I just want to let you know about something really interesting that we're doing in the year 2025. Every month in 2025, we're going to be giving away one of our signature paddles, the Spin Boss Pro. So if you're interested in winning one of these for free, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to always be notified when we upload a new video. With that said, let's get back to the video. Now, because of Tyra's really good fourth shot roll back to the deeper player in the court, Rachel Rohrbacher in this scenario, it's actually going to continue down this pattern of a really aggressive shot from this team over here and a attempt at a reset from that team over there. So it's going to happen a couple different times. I believe the next one goes, she tries to reset back to the middle. Tyra steps over and pushes it back to that part of the court up here. And then Rachel Rohrbacher moves over and drops the ball now to this side of the court. She's gonna try and get one over to Jorja. Jorja immediately moves over and hits the ball back deep to Anna Bright this time. Anna Bright does her best as she can to get the ball back into the reset of the court, but it once again falls a little bit high, and Tyra is able to go ahead and do something offensive with this one more time. It's really, really good offense by this team over here, and honestly, pretty good defense from that team over there. This team has avoided giving them anything too high that they can flat out put the ball away, but this team has maintained enough pressure to not let either of these two players approach the net, which is really good because both of these players have a really good drop shot. So they're doing an excellent job of keeping this team back up there and not letting them move up to a neutral position in the point with all four players at the kitchen line. Eventually, off of Jorja Johnson's forehand to Anna Bright ends up getting a ball that's a relatively decent reset. It's gonna be below the plane of the net, and Tyra is gonna do her best to maintain the offense, but because the ball is pretty low, it's gonna be hard to do anything super aggressive with it. So Anna Bright knows her reset's pretty good. She's gonna start to move in, and Tyra is just gonna roll this ball back to the middle as best she can right there for Rachel Rohrbacher. Because there's not a lot on this shot that she hit, Rachel is going to go ahead and take her time and take a few extra steps, which is good. Take her time and go ahead and hit a nice drop shot to the outside of the court right here. And now they feel as though they've had enough of the defense and they hit a good drop shot and are now going to move into the kitchen just like this. At this point, unfortunately for this team over here, a crucial error was made. And it's kind of up to you about who you think made the error, but it ends up costing them the point. So what ends up happening is Rachel Rohrbacher drops wide and Anna Bright moves to the middle right there, which is not exactly what you wanted to do, because when the ball is wide, you want to follow the ball out to where it is, and then Rachel can gain her position up here and cover the middle, but that's not what ended up happening. Anna Bright actually moves to the middle because she's anticipating a dink back to the middle. Tyra Black sees her move to the middle. She's gonna move over here and hit a backhand pass down the line winner right here. So that was a crucial error from Anna Bright that ended up costing them the point that they worked so hard to get up to the kitchen line for. So that's really an unfortunate error from these guys, but great play by this team down here to continue the pressure and eventually find an open spot on the court to hit a winner. If we move back a little bit in the point where we see that Rachel Rohrbacher now has this gimme ball right here to kind of drop the ball wherever she wants, she has a lot of control with what's happening because the ball that she received from Tyra right here was not all that aggressive. So there's a couple different ways that they could have avoided losing this point. One of them is if Rachel Rohrabacher would have dropped to a different place, let's say she drops to the middle of the court right here, then Anna Bright absolutely should go ahead and come in and crash the middle, Rachel Rohrabacher as well, because they don't have, this team over here doesn't have any angles to do anything with the ball, and now it's a pretty much neutral position, and they can try and grind out the point from there, hitting dinks and looking for offensive opportunities. So that would have been one way that they could have avoided losing this point, is if Rachel Rohrabacher, instead of dropping out wide to this spot over here, she would have just dropped to the middle and made sure that there's not any angles for this team to do anything offensive with it. Another way that they could have avoided losing this point is if Rachel Rohrabacher, like she did, drops this ball out wide to here and Tyra's gonna move over to take it, right? Anna Bright, instead of crowding the middle right here and leaving her line completely exposed down there, instead, if she would have crowded her line over here and covered it, and Rachel Rohrabacher is gonna back her up by covering the middle, now this open court that was available is no longer available. And Tyra, the best that she's going to be able to do as far as offense goes is hit a wide dink over here, which is definitely not too much for this team to handle. They probably would have been able to get back and dink, and now they're in a neutral position. So that's another way that they could have avoided losing this point. And it's one of the errors that was made during this match with Rachel Rohrabacher and Anna Bright playing Tyra and Jorja down there. So in order to avoid this, what they should have done is either A, drop to the middle, or B, have Anna Bright cover their line better so that way they're not giving up free offensive opportunities for this team down here. So overall, really good court sense by this team down here, especially Tyra, for keeping them back and not letting them gain any position into the court, and then also realizing when they have an open spot on the court to hit to and hitting that spot. Really excellent play by Tyra and Jorja in this point. Hey, if you liked what you saw today and want to learn more about pickleball strategy and situational strategy within the game of doubles pickleball, then I have something really interesting that I want you to check out, and that is the doubles playbook. Because inside this playbook, we go over 30 different common situational plays that you'll face within the game of pickleball. And the reason this book is so great is because we have a couple different opportunities that you can do within the book. One of them is it goes over a diagram, it has a little description of each play, but if you can see up in the top right up there, we actually have a QR code that's going to take you to a video breaking down each of our different plays within the doubles playbook. So if that sounds like something that you're interested, I want you to click the link in the description below and go and check out the doubles playbook.